Us altos love to fill in the harmony. That's why we do what we do. Leave the melody to the sopranos, give us the really interesting notes. That being said, sometimes we do feel like we're the last part to be written, maybe just sort of filling in the gaps, polyfillering the music, if you will. So really try to consider how our part voice leads, how it moves, so we're not just jumping around over the place all the time, filling in the notes that you still need in the chord, but instead our harmony has a sense of progression to it, and then we'd really feel loved.
I also think quite carefully about how you use our tessitura, particularly at loud or at very quiet moments. At loud moments, if we're just filling in harmony, we often end up actually towards the bottom of our voices, but you won't get very much from us there. We tend to peak probably between an A and then often the E above the C above middle C, and really use that area. You get something quite dramatic. When you're looking for really soft singing, often then towards the end of the stave, it's absolutely the right idea. But careful about how low you go. Quite a lot of altos have breaks around about an A, sometimes a G, sometimes a B flat. So if you're wanting a really quiet sound towards a G, just be aware that that might start to be touching on a break and it might not quite come out. Well, we'll have to do a little bit of vocal juggling to get it out.
Sounds like our entire register's a break. You've probably also noticed that we are not the same sex as each other. And so we, of course, are different voice parts in our own right, both singing the alto part. And that's something definitely worth considering, how the countertenor voice works a little bit differently to the contralto or mezzo-soprano voice. Not just in terms of the technical perspective, but also in terms of the sound and the colour. So for a countertenor, be careful not to send us into our modal voices down at the bottom. Also be aware that when we get into our head voice, it's likely to be a very present and dramatic sound. Whereas the female alto, certainly in the case of Katie, she can, as I was talking about earlier, actually polyfill my gaps a little bit. She can get up to places more easily than I can and down to places a little more easily, but at the same time doesn't have the same dramatic depth of sound in the middle of the register. So we sort of need to be deployed in slightly different ways. I think that's fair to say, isn't it?
So whilst I sing first alto and you sing second alto, actually that doesn't necessarily mean very much in terms of tessitura. It's more playing to the differences between a countertenor voice and an alto voice.
Yeah, you could think, I always think of things in food terms. I'm the claret and Katie's the champagne. Let's go with that. Have fun.
Fine with me.
Right well for the altos.